Have you heard the exciting news? Something big is coming your way to change how you think about menstrual health and hygiene and sexual reproductive health. That's right, get ready for Oki. Oki is an initiative designed just for you, bringing empowering insights straight to PNG. Supported by the Australian and PNG government. UNICEF.
Welcome to the Okie Toki radio show. This is your go-to source for insightful and engaging information made just for adolescents and young adults like you on a wide range of topics. My name is Tamal and I am pleased to be joining you again this week as your host for episode 35 of the Okie Toki radio show. As always, before we get into our program for today, we'd like to thank our partners and donors for making the Oki PNG initiative and today's show possible. They are the Australian government, the PNG government, and UNICEF. And for today's show, special thanks to the PNG Digital ICT Cluster for being a knowledge partner. This April is special for Okie Toki because we are celebrating girls in information and communication technologies, or ICT. This is the ICT month, and the past several episodes we've been featuring empowered women from the ICT space. So if all of this sounds complicated to you, don't worry. ICT basically is enabling you to tune in and listen to this program right now. And so that's ICT in action. It is helping us to connect, to learn, and to share information every single day. Now, tomorrow, Thursday, 24th of April, is International Girls in ICT Day. And it's a UN Day marked on the 4th Thursday of April every year. So globally, it's a day to celebrate the achievements of girls in digital and information technologies, but also to recognize that the digital gender divide still exists. That is, the inequality between men and women to access technology. In PNG, just like around the world, many women and girls don't have equal access to the internet, mobile phones, and digital education. And this matters because if PNG wants to grow and reach the dreams of our founding fathers, we can't leave half of our population behind. So this year's theme is Girls in ICT for Inclusive Digital Transformation. And it's a reminder that empowering girls in tech starts right at home, in schools, and in our communities. At this stage, I'd like to make welcome three incredible young women who started their journey in tech and digital innovation from a very young age. One of them is actually still under 18. And I'm so looking forward to the conversation today. So together, we hope their stories inspire not just girls, but also parents and teachers to support girls to reach their full potential in this space. Let's welcome the dynamic sister duo, Eileen Solly and CJ Solly, who are youth reps from Center for Future Now, Inc. I think they'll definitely talk more about that. We also have Crystal Kawer of Crescent Technology. She's a female entrepreneur and member of the PNG Digital ICT Cluster, making waves in the tech space in Papua New Guinea. So please, ladies, welcome to the show. I am excited to host you today for Okie Toki radio show. This is episode 35. We've been having powerful ladies, girls and women joining us, and three of you today. I'm pleased to have you. Let's have you girls to just quickly introduce yourself. Well, we've had CJ already started. You still have anything else to say?
Yes, I would like to, first of all, before we get into our introductions, I would like to give our acknowledgements first. So thank you, Tamal and NBC Studios, for welcoming us to your show, especially for Girls in ICT Day. And I would like to give acknowledgements to Love Anchor, who facilitated our participation in this. And also special thanks to, not thanks, but acknowledgement and thanks to Crystal Kea, who my sister and I actually met when we were 8 and 9 years old at Hilton Hotel. We met her, we took a picture, and I think it's almost been a decade since we've met her, so it's like a full moment now that we've come over now with her for Girls in ICT Day today. Thanks.
That's so nice. 8 years old, and now look, years later, here you are together again, representing different spaces, and of course, you're in tech, but you've grown and matured, and here you are on Tribe FM. It's pleased to have you. Let's have Eileen share a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Eileen. Thank you, CJ, for introducing us. I'm Eileen. I'm 18 years old. I'm a youth representative for Future Now. And yeah, I'm just very happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. We are pleased to have you. And we also have Crystal. Please share a little about yourself.
Hi everyone. Thanks Tamal for the opportunity to be here. I also want to thank the PNG Digital ICT Cluster for the opportunity to come and speak here today, and also for the Okie work in this space as well to bring light to a very important issue on women's menstruation and reproductive health. So as Tamal's introduced, I'm Crystal Kewe. I run a software company based here in Port Moresby. I started the company at 15 with my dad after I figured, school wasn't for me because I was very passionate about programming and started studying more advanced topics. So I figured I'd have a better chance of succeeding if I leave school and pursue my dreams in entrepreneurship and software engineering. So I've been doing that for a decade and got the chance to meet the Solly sisters 10 years ago. And yeah, it's nice to see how they've grown and they're still in the industry. And looking forward to the discussions ahead today.
Thanks, Crystal. And I don't know, but I'm having goosebumps because I haven't hosted like young girls, so confident and ready to take on what's ahead of them. And I can just see that the three of you, are that you're ready to learn more about what you can do in that space and expand and, of course, inspire other young Papua New Guineans. I am inspired, so looking forward to the rest of the discussion. Let's get into our talk for today. So you've introduced yourself. Maybe I'll ask the Solly sisters to kick off our discussion. So homeschooling sounds very interesting. I think it's not common in Papua New Guinea. It's something that, I don't know, maybe I'll let you to talk about it, about homeschooling, your journey in that.
Like you mentioned, homeschooling isn't very widely recognized in Papua New Guinea compared to developed countries like Australia or Singapore. But homeschooling is basically learning from the home. It's usually self-paced, and your parents are the ones who are in charge of monitoring and guiding your educational progress and identifying your learning gaps. CJ, you want to add?
Yeah, even before COVID-19, my sister and I were already doing after-school programs to build our skills. And from the after-school programs, we transitioned to homeschool. So obviously, like Ayan said, homeschooling, we were able to learn at our own pace. And not only learn at our own pace, but it exposes us to a lot of e-learning platforms. And right now, my sister and I are doing our online university foundational courses. But for our homeschool, we also integrate Google into our homeschool. So we use Gmail to basically communicate amongst ourselves as siblings and with our parents who are instructors and our advisors as well. We use Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides for our projects, our reports, and our presentation. And then we use Google Calendar to keep track of our events and our scheduling. And that's basically what we do, a little bit of what we do for our homeschool. Thank you.
Wow, yeah, definitely. Like after you've just sort of shared your journey, it's not common. It's I think I've come across maybe just one or two. You'll be the third family now that I've seen them, parents not sending their students to school, but doing homeschooling as well, getting resources from abroad, and all that. So it's nice to meet you, and of course know that you're also in that. All right. So tomorrow, Thursday, when we started off, I mentioned this is Girls in ICT Day, and I think this is a perfect time to ask this question. What sparked your interest in tech? and who were the people supporting you and cheering for you?
Should I go first? Okay. When I was young, I'm not sure if you've seen this movie. It's called the Emoji Movie. It's basically about an emoji in a phone who embarks on a journey to reprogram himself because he's malfunctioning and he can't do his job right. So when I watched the film when I was very young, and it inspired me. So my dad, who's here with us today, he downloaded a visual programming language for my sister and I called Scratch. And from there, we would learn about the basics of coding through game making. And then even after that, we decided to extend what we were learning to the kids in our community back in Barocco. Yeah, and that's where it all started.
My goodness, I don't know what to say. CJ, you can say your bit.
For me, tech, I wasn't really into it at first. It was more of a gradual process. When my sister got into it, I just naturally followed along because we had to do everything together. So obviously, I didn't want to do it at first. But I think another thing for me was the community we built around with kids our own age when we were doing this our little programming classes. So at first, no, not so much, but now I'm into it. So that's great.
That's so nice to to learn that you sort of dropped your interest, but then you developed liking Eileen's interest as well, and then see where you are today. And I can pick up from your feedback that you have got a very supportive parents, and they enabled you to explore and come out from where you were before to what you are now. Crystal, what's your take on this question?
Yeah, I think the common thread that the listeners will find out with our conversation today is that we have very supportive parents at home. And I think even our confidence as well is a reflection of the upbringing that we've had with our parents and the support we've had from them. For me, I grew up, I always tell this joke. I know it's not a joke, but it is funny when I tell it. I always have this. I grew up seeing my mother having a habit of smashing my father's computer, and my father would always be fixing with his big glasses, and he'd tape his glasses, and he'd be fixing the computers. So I grew up around that environment. And the good thing is I remember that part, not the horrible parts of their quarrels, but the interesting part of him fixing his computer. So I grew up with that sort of memory of having him always fixing his computers, and just having computers around the house. And my dad had a knack for computers and engineering, even though he studied business. So I kind of got that from him early on. And then I guess the second most important sort of part of my journey that inspired me was when I was around 11 or 12, when my dad bought a gaming laptop. It was an MSI 13, I think. He bought it from the Philippines. And I became the de facto owner because I would just be on that computer from 9 a.m. to 2 in the morning. And then they would have to come and take the laptop away from me. So I developed a very unhealthy relationship with the computer, but it started to build my interest in programming. So I started learning. I was curious as to how to customize the game. So I researched what the programming language was for the game, and it was Python. So I learned Python, and then I started from there. So those were sort of the two things that helped to inspire my journey in tech. Yeah.
Awesome. 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. is a very long time. And I'm just listening to you. That's a very long time. I'm like, okay, my son always have his phone for like maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour, and I'm already, it's crazy. I am like, now rest time. But you see, the good side of it is you develop something else, something that's not common, especially for girls in PNG.
Yeah, like what I will say, Tamal, is that the computer and the gaming became sort of the thing I focused on. While my friends were interested in partying and drinking and relationships, that was sort of the thing that I was more interested to. So I think it helped in that sense, definitely, to focus my attention at that time.
And thanks to your dad and your mom for letting you, discover for yourself what you could do from that one computer. And now you've got your own thing going on. You're listening into Okie Toki Radio Show. We are back at it. If any of you've had a moment where you enjoyed maybe building something, could be a project, a website, a robot, or anything else that you enjoyed building and you still can't forget at this stage?
Okay, so for me, something that I enjoyed building and I'm very proud of is my first ebook. So my first, I guess, children's ebook. I authored and illustrated this ebook and I published it on an online platform called Upschool. And I really enjoyed the creative process because I used Google Docs and Sheets and Adobe Illustrator to create my ebook. And after I published it, I think a few months later, we showcased my ebook and we had a mini workshop at the American Corner at the National Library on Girls in ICT Day 2023. Were with fellow secondary school students. It was kind of funny because a few of our friends from school and our neighbors were part of the secondary school students that came. So we were there as the instructors and they were there as the students. It was a really fun moment as well. And there we partnered with American Corner, the American Corner and ExxonMobil. So that's one thing I'm proud of, building my first ebook. Since I also like reading a lot, and writing my own ebook and finding how hard it is to write a book, I think it makes you appreciate authors more often as well. So thanks. That's something that I built that I'm proud of.
That's nice. What about you, Eileen?
Back in the day, referring back to the same year that Girls in ICT Day took place, 2023, I had made a short chat animation using two characters from Naruto to show from a Japanese show called Naruto to showcase to my audience. But just taking the step to illustrate these characters and program them to have the conversation that I wanted them to have, it made me feel proud of myself because I had to take a step out of my comfort zone and show this work to everybody else. But anyway, my dad wanted me to reach the youth demographic, and the animation was basically talking about the importance of cybersecurity to the audience, which is very important today, especially as the world is evolving to a more online tech space. People, especially young girls, should know how to take care of themselves online and practice cyber safety.
Crystal?
For me, it was we had a project with the provincial government to build both their website and a custom project acquittal system. And so we had done the website, and we were then supposed to start developing the custom acquittal system. And this was going to sit on a content management system. So it wasn't like a standalone software system. You had the content management system where the website was built, and then you had to do the custom development on the engine itself. So I remember my father coming to me and, frantically saying, "We got to get this done. We only have 2 weeks," and, really putting the pressure on me. And I was like, 18 or something like that. And I remember sitting there thinking, how the heck am I going to get this, full system done in like 2 weeks? But it was in that period where I sort of learned how to manage projects and how to build things and how to take them to production as a software developer. And I actually got it done in a week, and I was quite amazed that I was able to. And the other thing is, if you're building on a new content management system, you have to learn the underlying programming language. So I had to not only build it, I had to learn the language first and then build it. And that's a skill that you learn when you work, as a software developer. You're never working with one technology. You're always working with different technologies because you're working with different projects. So the most important skill you learn as a developer is how to learn, unlearn, and relearn things. And I think that's a very important skill in the age of AI. That is the only way you'll be able to survive and keep ahead of the curve. And you'll never have a problem wondering if you're going to lose your job or not. So, having built that, application in 1 week, I was over the moon. I couldn't believe that I could actually do that. And it sort of continued to instill that confidence that I could actually do this as a full-time career.
I don't know, but this is mind-blowing for me as a host today. But I'm pleased to be, I'm honored to have this with you firsthand, and you're sharing your journeys with Tribe FM and our Oki followers and listeners. So we thank you for being here. We'll start off with you again, Crystal. We often hear from parents who want to protect their daughters from online risks. But many of them think the solution is to take away phones and devices, just like me. What would you say regarding that?
I think it's natural for parents to want to limit their kids' access to technology and to be online. I think there should be, a certain age where kids should be allowed to be online, and and a certain age where they should be kept away from those things, because you know, kids develop according to their level of, according to the development of their brain as well. So kids are not equipped to understand, you know, specific scenarios and all that stuff that goes on online. For me, I remember when I was about 13, and I was 13 going to turn 14. This was back in 2012. So I was doing my year 9 at POMIS, at Port Moresby International School, and Facebook had come out at that time. So Facebook was like the big thing. And everyone was on Facebook. All my friends were on Facebook, so there was that pressure to be on Facebook. And I remember throughout that year, my father continuously telling me that you need to get off of Facebook because it's just a distraction. And at that time, you know, all of the conversations there were innocent. But I can tell you right now, there's a lot of very bad things that are going on social media networks, particularly Facebook. So it's a very risky and scary place for a lot of young people, especially young women, to be online. So in terms of my advice, what I would say is you shouldn't put, you know, like be very disciplined with cutting off social media, because what parents want to do is, the most important thing is to teach your kids how to think. And with that, they will know, and to teach them the role of social media and why social media is there in the first place. And then to teach them to weigh the pros and cons of why you should be using social media and when you should not be using it. Because if you just cut out the social media, they will find other ways to get to it. You know, it'll just, you know, make their behavior more aggressive. So I remember I was in 2014 when I stopped Facebook, and I haven't been on it for like over 10 years now. And it's because I was taught to think and to assess, you know, is this something I should be doing? Is it in alignment with where I am at this stage and with my studies back then, etc. So I would advise that parents should not focus on the technology, but first focus on the discipline at home and instilling the proper behavior and personality with their kids. And then also educating them. I mean, Eileen mentioned, you know, the cybersecurity project that she did to help educate kids. I think that's important as well, because kids are naive. They don't know that there are risks out there. So parents should deliberately look at ensuring that those programs are available to their kids, so they understand what are the risks are and how to react or respond. Yeah.
Thanks, Crystal. You mentioned cybersecurity, and I just thought of last week's topic. We had Bernadette and Bosa, and our topic was on cybersecurity. And it was also nice to, you know, hear from them, people who dealt with this, and they know how to go about solving it and all that. So it was, you know, it's been helpful, these conversations, and I'm pretty sure that our listeners are learning so many stuff on Oki Show. And it's good to have you sharing your journey with us. What about you, Eileen and CJ, your take on this?
Thanks, Crystal. My answer is very similar to hers. Obviously, parents, there's a certain age where kids should be and should not be allowed to go on social media. My sister and I weren't allowed to access the internet without our parents' permission or have our own phone devices until we were like 16. And even back then, when our parents would give us access to phones and devices before we were that age, we didn't handle it very responsibly. So while I wouldn't recommend parents giving their kids access to phone devices or social media yet at that age, they should at least educate them on the reasons why they're not going to do that, or the reasons they're going to allow them to do it at a certain age. But yeah, CJ, you want to add?
Yes, so I think a few suggestions for consideration. From my sister and I, our experience, from Isla and I, our experiences, we actually took an online course called Foundations of Humane Technology, where it basically explored the impact, the positive and negative impact that tech had on society as a whole, with our speech, vulnerable communities, and mental health. And I think it more or less explained and explored the relationship, how to have a healthy relationship with us as humans and technology itself. Another thing that my sister and I did growing up that our dad sort of introduced us to were documentaries such as TikTok Boom and Social Dilemma, where they talked about, or they dived into, how social media sort of changes our behavior as humans, as people, especially with young kids and how when they get into social media, they then grow up and it sort of manipulates them.
They look for validation.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing. And a book that we read, I would like to recommend a book that we read back in January. It was called Make Time. It was co-authored by two computer programmers. Their names are Jake Knapp and John Zaretsky. So it basically talks, making time is intentionally making time for spending time on your phone or your devices and spending time away from them. And one thing that I took away from the book is called digital cleansing, where you delete unnecessary apps and files from your phone to reduce distraction. So for me, I think I deleted Twitter, Instagram. I've never had Facebook. I found that app quite boring. So I don't have any of those social media. I do have TikTok, but even fixing my For You page is just like Christian content and motivational content. And since I kind of am also into like the whole book space and writing, I'm just on, I guess what they call it, writer talk or book talk. I'm just on that clean side of it. So yeah, that's basically for me. So digital cleansing and having an open dialogue with parents and kids. So parents shouldn't really hide them away from social media, take them away, and don't let your kids just have access to social media. I think there should be an open dialogue and talk from both sides. Don't keep it toxic. Yeah.
That's a very important point there. Keep it healthy and don't, and also open dialogue is very exactly. Open dialogue was stressed by Bernadette last week when we talk about cybersecurity, and we had someone sent a question asking if what to do if she's being arrested again, because she was arrested at one point and she didn't know what to do. And then Bernadette was talking about talk to someone when you're being arrested. Don't keep it to yourself, because it will then lead you to having mental issues and all that. So this is just like a continuation from what we had last week, and it's really good. So what are some essential digital skills everyone should learn in 2025 and beyond?
For me, it's definitely knowing how to use AI as what my family and I call a tech buddy. Nowadays, AI is taking over the world, and people have become more evasive about it, which is valid with all of the misuse of AI on social media and stuff. But otherwise, that doesn't make artificial intelligence in itself a bad thing. So what I would recommend is think of AI as like your editor. You're writing a book, and you're the author, and the AI is the editor. You're the one providing all the ideas. The AI, the editor, is just there to readjust and polish your work. But don't let it do everything for you. Ultimately, people should be the ones to have the final say, and AI is just there to adjust, but not do the work for you. Thank you. CJ, you want to add?
I'll just say something. I use AI or ChatGPT for my studies. So, real quick, I don't tell ChatGPT, I don't prompt him to, I put like an essay or like do a 300-word essay for me. I don't tell him to do that because then I'm not learning anything. So what I instead do is I sort of would put like the file or the document that I'm supposed to learn, and then I'll sort of prompt ChatGPT, give me like a quiz me on this, or give me a multiple choice question. So instead of me letting AI learning and doing it itself, it's sort of reinforcing my learning of it. Yeah, especially since I don't have anyone to learn with.
I like how you're using AI. You're not letting it to teach you everything. It's quizzing you, like what you said. It's really nice. Crystal, you have anything on that?
Yeah, I completely agree with the Solid sisters. The thing with AI is that, on the note on AI, is that a lot of people will get complacent and very lazy with it. And the only person that loses in the end is yourself. Because the AI, just like any other human brain, is learning while your learning is sort of deteriorating or stopping altogether, and you never want that to happen. So the AI is just there to supplement you and to help to fine-tune things for you, but never to do the work, like Eileen mentioned. But I will say, in terms of essential skills in 2025, back in 2018, when I went to Kimbe to run the Girls in ICT Day, this was around the same time, but back in 2018, I ran a one-week workshop, and we had about 25 girls from the different high schools and secondary schools from Kimbe come together. And I taught them about computers and basics of coding, etc. And 3 of them had never touched a computer before. So it was very frightening for them to even touch the computer. So we had to sort of pause and tell them everything's fine, you're not going to break anything. The computer is solid. But I would say, for a lot of our girls, unfortunately, that reality is still there. We're the 3 of us here are the minority. We're in a very small percentage group of girls who have very supportive parents who provide us with all these opportunities. But majority of girls in the country don't have access to even phones, computers, don't know how to use the internet. So I would say for those girls and people in that demographic, to first importantly learn how to use a computer, learn how to use a phone, learn how to use basic things like Microsoft Office suite tools, how to write things on Word, use Excel, PowerPoint, etc. Learn how to use different communication channels like Gmail, purpose of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. Understand all those, or LinkedIn. And then educate yourself about, cyber security practices, cyber safety practices, so you're well equipped when you're online. But those would be my suggestions for essential skills, along with AI.
Thanks for those tips that you've shared with us. We'll ask you again, Crystal. This is especially for you. You're an entrepreneur in a male-dominated space. What advice do you have for girls who want to follow a similar path?
My advice would be, and this is in general, it's not just in tech. My advice would be, if you're interested to pursue something, never look at the status quo and say that it's a male-dominated field, or there's a glass ceiling that I need to break. All throughout my childhood and growing up, my father never talked about my gender, never said that because you're a girl you can't do certain things. I was always told that if there's something you want to do, you can go do it, as long as you have a brain and you can put it to good use. And as long as you build the right character and have the right habits, you'll always be able to succeed. So having that mindset and mentality has enabled me to pursue the things I pursue. And, now I'm very fortunate. I get to, with the projects we work on with my company, I get to meet with secretaries and ministers and CEOs of big companies and leaders. I get to travel internationally and speak at various international conferences. And there's never a question about my age. I'm 26 now, but there's never a question about my age or my gender. And it's because if you carry yourself a certain way, people automatically know how to respond to you. So I would say for girls, and even young men too who are interested to pursue a career in tech, if that's your dream, pursue it by all means. And also you have to have a mindset to 2 things you have to do. The first is always look at things long term, because good things take time. When I started in 2014, so it's been over 10 years now. So it's taken me 10 years to get here. And so you have to have that much faith in what you do. And the other thing is you have to be focused, very focused. A lot of people think that success is you doing, 12 different things and trying to climb Mount Everest at the same time. It's either Mount Everest or, you're going to be average at all those other things. So focus is very important. And always have faith in your abilities, because God's given us a very powerful mind. And I think a lot of people don't understand how powerful the mind is and how you can shape reality with it if you can put it to good use. So my encouragement in general to girls would be, if you have a dream to pursue something, have faith in yourself first, and everyone else will fall in line afterwards once you've determined that this is what you want to do.
Thanks, Crystal, for that. Are you able to talk about some opportunities also for aspiring female techpreneurs?
Yeah, sure. So I would recommend joining the Digital ICT cluster, because they have a lot of opportunities around business, tech, and it's a great network to be in if you're starting out in tech. I remember when we were all starting out in 2014, even the cluster was a very small group. It was just a handful of us doing this, but now the community's grown really big. And the bigger we grow individually with our projects and with our companies, we sort of give back to the cluster community. So I would say find any existing organizations in the tech or business space. So, join the ICT cluster. If you're under 35, join the YPOM CCI, the Young Port Moresby Chamber. and if you're over 35, then join the Port Moresby Chamber. There's a lot of opportunities there as well. And then I guess just networking. Networking is very important. Like they say, your network is your net worth. So if you surround yourself with the right people, they will help to build, the future opportunities that you will get. So a lot of the opportunities I've gotten have been because of connections I've made. Yeah. Never underestimate the power of networking. So I would say, just always keep an open mind and always look at connecting with the existing network to look at how you can find opportunities to progress.
Thanks, Crystal. Appreciate your response to especially this question. We are towards the end of our conversation for today. So, finally, what are your big dreams for yourself and for Papua New Guinea as we're approaching our 50th independence anniversary? Let's start with CJ.
So for me, on a personal note, I would like to complete my associate's degree in computer science, which is what I'm doing now. But I think I'll give it to Eileen because we both sort of had a talk about this particular question, and I think I'll let her answer it for both of us.
Yeah.
For PNG.
It's easier said than done, but my sister and I would like the price of the internet in PNG to be lowered, and we would like more service towers to be installed in rural areas of Papua New Guinea, so that people from all over Papua New Guinea, not just the ones living in the city, can have easy access and affordable internet service, so that they can also access the resources that my sister and I and the global community are using and chase their dreams.
I like your answer to this question. It's really nice. It's like you are thinking of others as well, not just yourself, but you wanting maybe kids, girls and women, especially young girls from rural settings to be exposed to what you were and are at, and it's really nice to have such an answer for this question. Let's hear yours, Crystal.
I would agree with the solicitors. That was actually one of my responses. So I'll leave it at that. But I will say the education side is also important. So I know that strides been made by the PNG government to introduce STEM curriculum into our school. So they've already done that for the national high schools, which is great to see. But the STEM curriculum also needs to be introduced down, from K up to 12, so before they get to even secondary or high schools. So that will be something important that needs to be done. So a lot of our kids coming up already have exposure to technology and ICT. If you go overseas, the reality is very different. Like a lot of kids, even by the time they get to university, by the time they get to uni, they're already specializing in a particular field of tech. Whereas for ours, curriculum at university is more generalized versus focus on specialization. Yeah, and I've lectured at the University of PNG, so I know what it's like to be a student there and to be taking a course like computer science. I will also add that having digital hubs and centers where people can access Wi-Fi in the rural areas, like what Eileen said, is also very important. And yes, the price of internet coming down would be very good. And if we can have very good, strong, reliable internet access as well, because especially if you're doing anything like video production or anything like AI, if you're building your own AI models, for example, the internet not working is a real pain. So having reliable internet and fast internet and is very, very important as well. But I think the most important thing for our country is always education should be the first priority. The Solid Sisters have been homeschooled. I only finished grade 10 and I did well. I graduated as a Dux, but I felt that it just wasn't the path for me. So we haven't gone through the traditional education system, but education doesn't stop just because you stop going to school, And I like this saying by Isaac Newton. He said, people die at 26, but they don't get buried until they're in their 50s, because by the time they get to 26, they stop learning. So that they're just a body, withering away. So the most important thing is to educate our population, and that's the greatest investment that our country can do. And we're an example of self-education as one model. Yeah.
Thanks, Crystal. You were mentioning education. I just thought of Zapuka Temu's suggestion to the government. I think in the previous parliament sitting before the VONC one, he suggested that instead of waiting for students to graduate after grade 12, go to whatever institution of their choice and then finally getting into studying what they want, why not introduce that at a very early age, maybe still in primary school? So when a student graduates, maybe out of grade 10 or 8 or 12, they already have another, maybe one or a couple of certificates apart from the usual academic certificate. It could be in IT, it could be in business, it could be in whatever. So when I saw his, report on that, I was like, this is really good,
If I may add as well, I think there should be emphasis as well on alternative pathways, because not everyone is going to become a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant. Not everyone's going to go into the corporate sector and work. So there should be equal priority given to different pathways like entrepreneurship, vocational training, because we will always need plumbers, builders, and no work is too small. Every work is important. Doesn't matter how small or insignificant in pay or financial reward it is. So there should be equal priority given to alternative pathways, because now the only thing is like, okay, everyone finishes grade 12 and then we'll just force them into university, and there's only a select number of spaces there at universities. So entrepreneurship is also, apart from education, is the best way to build a small economy like PNG. And if you look at reports from OECD and the APEC, they talk about how 70% of economies within the Asia Pacific are run, along with job opportunities, are provided by MSMEs. So, and I know that that's a focus of the government, which is great. So education should be a priority, along with economic empowerment and supporting local businesses as well.
Is there anything else you'd like to leave with us? We've come to the end of our talk.
I just want to say thank you for having us. We were all nervous, but this has turned out to be a very fruitful conversation, and we're very lucky to have a host like you, Tamal, who's very receptive to our suggestions and our discussions, and we hope that our conversation here will help to inspire a lot of girls and young women in PNG to pursue a path like entrepreneurship or engineering or STEM in general. And the great thing is, I like what Dr. Fiona Hukula said before. She said, you can't become what you don't see. So I think it's very important for the exposure, and thank you to UN for providing a platform for young girls and young women like the Solid Sisters to be able to share their story. I think it's very important. I mean, I got my shot through the Digital ICT cluster. I was 19 when they introduced me to the industry, and before that I was sort of a loner, just doing my own thing. So the platform is very important, networking, getting exposure. So we have faith that there'll be many more girls who'll interview like us and women, in the future.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Thank you to the Solid Sisters, CJ and Eileen, for making time to come in. Very inspiring session it was. It will go a long way, what you've shared with us. Well, I think it's never too late to learn. And I hope those who did tune into our program today will make use of the session and the information that you've shared, and also share with the family, the friends, and Happy Girls in ICT Day tomorrow to the three of you, and wish you all the best in your your respective roles, whatever that you do. And we were pleased to have you on our Okie Toki radio show today. We'll take a quick break. When we come back on the other side, we'll wrap up our session for today, and also a brief about what happened over today's session as well.
Okay. Let me celebrate you. Okay. Let me empower you. Okay. By supporting you. Be the best version of you. I am here to be a friend. I am here to help you learn. I am here to help you be the
welcome back to the Okie Dokie Radio Show. This is Tamal. I'm still with you. I am excited after today's session. But guess what? If you missed it, Oki is now in Papua New Guinea. For those who might not know, Oki is a globally recognized period tracking mobile application used in 11 other countries as well. And that includes the Philippines, Indonesia, Ukraine, West Bengal in India, Tanzania, Kenya, and South Africa, among others. So you can actually download the Oki PNG app. If you're using an Android, you can go to Play Store and download the application. If you're on iPhone, you can go to App Store and check out the app and install it in your phone. Now, once you've downloaded the app, you can use it offline. That means you don't need data or credits to access the application every now and then. So once you've downloaded and installed the app, that's it. You can just use it anytime, anywhere, and access the information that's in there. And also, don't forget to check out the Oki PNG apps encyclopedia section. This section contains tips on online safety, and the app itself, something really good about the app is it's once you want to install the application, it won't ask for your personal information, like maybe your name, your emails, phone numbers, and all that. It doesn't ask you to provide those, so it's the safest application that you can install in your phone. And not just that, it has loads of information that you can share with your family, your relatives, your classmates, your workmates as well. So go ahead, download the application and use it offline. And the best part is you can learn a lot of stuff with confidence while you are using the application. So apart from the application itself, keep listening into the Okie Dokie Radio Show and the programs that we provide on Oki, because we also will be providing the updates regarding the Oki IVR, that's the Interactive Voice Response Service, and also the Okie Dokie Hotline. So keep listening in to be the first person to get to know the IVR service and the Okie Dokie hotline as well. But for today, it was an incredible conversation that we've had with three powerful girls in tech, and they were the Solis sisters, Eileen and CJ and Crystal. They were able to join us today and share their journeys, and I'm pretty sure you're inspired just like I am. Well, with that, we've come to the end of our show. Thank you for tuning into the Okie Dokie Radio Show. This is your trusted source for practical and empowering information made just for young people like you. My name is Tamal. I was your host today, and we can't wait to have you back next time. And a huge thank you to our partners and donors for making the Oki PNG initiative and this show possible. The Australian government, the PNG government, and UNICEF. To join us same time, same day next week for more exciting discussions on Okie Dokie Radio Show. Well, with that, stay healthy, stay confident, period.
Okay, let me celebrate you.